I'll make it up to you.
I got motion, I cannot explain no missed call. Treat the bitches like T-teens and I be Chris Paul. Hopping on the foreign V's when I be pissed off. Like T-Mac on the rock, cause I'm the one I'm about to lift off. Easy from the pilot, she gon' eat me like a biscuit.
Let's watch this video, get this out of the way. Y'all want to be sick about me and my favorite team. The Texans in their bad history of quarterback play. Unfortunately, my team ain't have the greatest of history of quarterbacks. Like, as far as solid, real good NFL seasons, I think we've probably only have, like, let me say good to the version where everybody would accept them as good. We had one season of Matt Schaub where everybody would accept was good. I think it's probably like 2009. We had a couple of Deshaun Watson seasons, probably two for real. But also you mix in some decent ones. And then one CJ Stroud good season. And then one okay one and then one ass one. So, yeah.
This ball club came into existence in 2002, making them the final expansion franchise in the NFL. For nearly 25 years,
I know you watched some of this, so I'll bring it back.
Quarterback history that's truly been insane. From the David Carr
You
disaster,
support these bum-ass teams? I mean, I'll be fake if I leave them.
Passing up on Peyton Manning.
He said that he actually wanted to come here and play for the Houston Texans.
You had to bring that up again.
I had to
way
bring, hey,
out.
listen,
You had to
I say what I say, man.
To the allegations of Deshaun Watson, they've gone through just about everything.
Play action, Stroud picked again.
Terrible.
Boy,
What a
there is
horrible
nothing that's
throw.
gone right for C.J. Stroud.
With the exception of a champion. The Texans have never reached a conference championship game,
Nope.
which is rather shocking considering how loaded some of their teams have been. They had one of the greatest defensive players of all time, some of the top receivers of their era, and innovative coaches. And yet, they've never made a serious run. In today's video, we will dive into the 2.5-decade history of Houston Texans quarterbacks.
We watched
Unlike
this.
most
No, we didn't. We watched some of it, but we had to quit. I forgot what we was doing, but we didn't finish this.
bad franchises who churn through quarterbacks like butter, this franchise has actually had multiple long-term starters who were decent, and some were even great. But for one reason or another, the Texans could never get over the hump. So with all that said, let's take it back to the beginning. In 1997, the city of Houston lost its beloved Oilers. They were the pro football team that had been a staple part of the city for decades. The franchise moved from Houston to Tennessee, eventually rebranding to the Titans. And the year that they changed their name, they made it to the Super Bowl. That
Didn't
same
win it, though.
season, the newly branded Titans nearly won it all. The NFL announced they were awarding the city of Houston another NFL team.
With great pride, I introduce to you.
I'm so glad they immediately gave us a team basically right after the Oilers left because, man, that shit is so ass. I cannot imagine how Seattle felt whenever they the Supersonics left. And Bears, I'm not sending no shot your way. I can only imagine how Bears fans feel now that the Bears might potentially leave, even though the Bears only going 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away, whatever. But that's ass.
Your Houston
Not having
Texans.
a team in the city.
3 years
That used to
later,
have it.
in 2002, things were made official. The Houston Texans joined the league as the 32nd franchise, and to this day, they remain the youngest franchise in the sport. In order to get them up to playing speed, the NFL
Hating. They ain't win it, though. You know, it's a little hate up in there. Fuck them. But I really don't have no hate towards the Titans, though. At all. The only thing that I think that they're doing corny now is for years, y'all did not want to wear the Oilers for real. Y'all wear it every now and then. But the moment when Houston wanted to claim its colors back because that is deeply rooted in the city of Houston, police cars used to be that color. Now all of a sudden, oh no, we want to wear them again. I think that's corny. But I don't have no problem with the Titans or the Oilers. I really don't care.
implemented an expansion draft,
Welcome to the expansion draft. The last expansion draft we'll probably see for a while.
where other teams must allow a certain number of players on their roster to be available to be selected. The goal of this expansion draft is to both help make this new team competitive, while also not giving them an advantage. The expansion draft took place in February 2002, and after it was all
The police, he said, it's just an example. Slow, you know I love you, but it's just an example. What the fuck else do you see cars riding around in baby blue? Just an example, you fool.
said and done, the Texans had the bulk of their year one roster set. And 2 months later, the regular NFL rookie draft arrived, and Houston was awarded the first pick in each of the 7 rounds. With the number 1 overall pick, they selected quarterback and the first face of their franchise, David Carr.
46 touchdowns, 9 interceptions last year. That's a pretty
And the
good ratio
3-4
no matter
sounds, yeah,
what
that's
league you play in.
big
Standing
color.
at 6'3", David Carr was a machine his final year at Fresno State, throwing for over 4,800 yards and 46 touchdowns. Despite being at a smaller school, he still finished top 5 in the Heisman race. And beyond stats, Carr was an impressive thrower of the football. Scouts compared his arm strength and accuracy to Troy Aikman.
Bros, I'll
and
try
most
not
felt
to
like
be.
he was the
Shit,
best
I'm be
quarterback
hyped.
of the 2002 class. Carr's debut was mostly a positive one, as he threw for 2 touchdowns in a thrilling victory over the Cowboys. This made the Texans just the second expansion team ever to win their opening game. However, that's pretty much where the good times ended that season. Houston got rocked in most
They
of their
did this
games,
nigga so
finishing
wrong.
with just 4 wins. In all fairness, this was pretty much how things were expected to go. While Carr had a nice first game, his rookie year was absolutely brutal. The offensive line was horrific, and Carr ended up breaking the all-time record for the
I want you to people, the more things change, the more things stay the same. Because we're actively watching one of the Texans quarterbacks go against the same shit that David Carr went through. Actively. I'm going to be real with y'all niggas. CJ Stroud is getting the same treatment. It's just not to this level. They will not put a good offensive line in front of a quarterback.
most times being sacked in a single season, breaking a near 20-year record.
We get to like halfway through that season. And first of all, I was like, I'm done playing football. This is dumb. This is stupid. Let's do something else.
76 sacks in a season is diabolical. It's nearly 5 a game. What's insane is the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL in 2002 was Drew Bledsoe, and he was still sacked 22 times less than Carr.
That's insane.
And the fourth most sacked quarterbacks that season had less than half the sacks of Carr.
Ron
They-
Dvorsky, was
They got this nigga killed.
an old ESPN commentator.
Bro!
He was like, if you couldn't run, you'd have 100 sacks. He told me that before an ESPN game one night, and I was like, yeah, you're probably right.
Going into 2003, the team drafted wide receiver Andre Johnson to help give
Yes,
Carr
sir.
a go-to #1 receiver.
Go!
In year 2, they did a much better job
You're my
protecting
dog,
David
bro.
Carr, as they dramatically improved how much he was getting sacked per game. Carr slightly improved his quarterback rating and completion percentage through a similar amount of touchdowns and interceptions, but he missed 5 games due to injury, and the team won 5
his ass
games, a 1-game improvement from the year prior. 2004 was where we finally started seeing some real promising progress with this team and David Carr. In a year that included defeating the city's old team, Carr put up career highs across the board, including finally putting together a positive touchdown to interception ratio. He finally had a competent run game behind him as Dominic Williams rushed for over 1,100 yards. Also, Andre Johnson had developed into a Pro Bowl wide
Said Andre could have been first ballot. I'm sorry. You said he could have had first ballot numbers with a better quarterback. Yeah, but honestly, I think that's why people put him in the Hall of Fame, and I'm so glad that they did it for that. Because the real ball player, the real niggas with ball knowledge know, Andre Johnson's numbers don't tell how great this dude was. He played on an expansion franchise with ass quarterbacks his entire career for real. And he was still able to be productive. If he had a solid quarterback, this nigga numbers would be outrageous.
out. The one problem that remained on the offensive side was the offensive line. Since the 2002 debacle, the Texans front office had done very little to improve upon the offensive line. They focused most of their resources gathering defensive talent and skill players like Andre Johnson, which left them year after year with arguably the worst O-line in the game. Despite the team doing better in 2004, Carr was back to being sacked more than any other quarterback in the game. Even with this alarming offensive line, the team did win 7 games. Going into the future, it felt like the next natural progression was going to be competing for a playoff spot. But things did not go according to plan. 2005 was a nightmare. It was a season described as a combination of severe personnel mismanagement, a devastating plague of injuries, and David Carr having poor awareness. The O-line was already one of, if not the worst in the league entering the season, and later Carr described the team as having to play, quote, musical chairs on the offensive line due to injury.
God, what am I cursed to live this life? It won't change. Oh my God, bro.
Injuries. 2005 was
That
just
shit
embarrassing.
not right,
The team
bro.
won just 2 games, and Carr was once again the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. In fact, he was sacked almost 20 more times than the second most.
ESPN runs this commercial, okay, where they go, "What does your team need?" And it shows me walk up to the line of scrimmage, put my hand in the center, and they take out the offensive line. I'm in a game.
Carr brings the offense to the line.
What does your team need? The NFL draft.
Take out the offensive line.
Oh
I
my
get back to
God.
the place Monday, and they're like, "Why would you film that?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Why would I film that? I don't even know what happened. I did not recognize the game that we were in."
Every decision they made with the position group since they had become a team had blown up in their face. Their first expansion pick was Pro Bowl tackle Tony Baselli, who never played a snap for them due to going on IR and then retiring. Then they continuously focused on building up other position groups.
How do we have Dre and D-Hop and couldn't make shit shake? Well, nigga, we had Dre, D-Hop, and Aaron Foster. Wait, I think Aaron Foster's on that scene at the same time. No, or did Aaron Foster come a little later? That wasn't Prime Foster. It wasn't Prime Foster. But it was later Aaron Foster. But one of the reasons why is when we had that team, who the fuck was that? What the fuck my nigga name, bro? No defense. No, we had a front seven. Cornerbacks absolutely horrible. Horrible at the time. Doodle. Secondary was so fucking bad. But then we had Matt Schaub. Matt Schaub, at the end of his tenure as a Texan quarterback, became so fucking horrible. Boy, I couldn't. The day we benched him, oh boy, if I was streaming, I would have flipped my desk just out of excitement. He became so bad. Like, and it's just like we got D-Hop like way later in his tenure.
And passing up on talent like Orlando Pace in one offseason. Pace said later that he was going to be a Texan in 2005, stating that the contract was pretty much done for a trade. But things fell through, and he continued his Hall of Fame career in St. Louis, making another Pro Bowl that season. Carr was unimpressive in his 5th season as the team starter, throwing more interceptions than touchdowns, and was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league yet again. The team decided to fire head coach Dom Capers, and to replace him, they hired Gary Kubiak. The Texans did not re-sign David Carr after the season, marking the end of a brutal era. To this day, his situation is the prime example of how not to handle a young rookie quarterback. Now, before we continue, today's video is brought to you by Cook Unity.
Shout out to Cook Unity, man. Good looking food.
Second-year coach Gary Kubiak was eager to find a new quarterback to lead this franchise. The Texans set their eyes on a promising young backup in Atlanta, Matt Schaub. Drafted in the 3rd round back in 2004 by the Falcons, Schaub had spent 3 years as Michael Vick's backup, and he could not have been more different as a quarterback. He was a giant compared to Vick, standing at 6'6" and 245 pounds. The big and tall Schaub was.
I want y'all to know the Texans and their owner around this time too. They act like Vince McMahon. They got a problem with liking taller quarterbacks too. It only changed a little bit later.
Lumbering athlete resembling the athleticism of guys like Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers. He hadn't played much in his NFL career to that point, but when he did, he showed tons of promise as an accurate and quick decision maker. This was music to the ears of Gary Kubiak, who was looking for that type of quarterback to lead his West Coast offense. It was a style built upon zone running schemes and short, quick passes to set up the long ball. A good decision maker was more important than a guy with a cannon for an arm. So the Texans called up the Falcons and made the trade for Schaub. And year 1 with Schaub was forgettable. Schaub battled through injuries throughout the season, missing 5 games. And in his 11 starts, the team went 4-7 and Schaub threw 9 touchdowns.
Respectfully, respect to Schaub. Shout out to bro. Some of my favorite years as a Texan. Coming up, watching Schaub them. You mean to tell me there was nobody else we could have got better than Schaub though? Shout out to bro. You know what I'm saying? But like, there was nobody we could have better than dude.
Touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He wasn't terrible, he was just mediocre. And the team in his absence actually did well, winning all but one game to finish 8-8, which just so happened to be their best season since becoming a
Watson.
franchise.
Watson.
It wasn't the prettiest offense in the world, but clearly Kubiak's system had been a major upgrade, and things would continue to develop slowly over the following years.
Respect the Sharp.
In 2008, the Texans got out to a rough 0-4 start. But things quickly changed, and all of a sudden, the Texans had a legit offense. By the end of the season, this offense was an unfamiliar sight to Texans fans, and that was because they had a smooth, efficient offense that had major success in both the run and pass game. Rookie running back Steve Slayton was a star in the run and pass game. Andre Johnson led the league in receptions and yards, and Matt Schaub finished top 10 in passer rating, doing an excellent job as a game manager. Unfortunately, he did miss 5 games again due to injury.
This nigga threw 10 picks, 15 touchdowns. Man, that shit was boo-boo, nigga. I promise y'all, I don't have no problem towards Sharp at all. But once you start to hear Texans fans a little bit talk about Matt Sharp, they be a little delusional. Like, stop that shit.
Injury. But clearly
Yes, I do. No, I don't. Like, my problem, I don't let nostalgia whip my ass, though. Like, y'all got to learn it about me, about everything. Video games, TV shows, football, basketball. I don't let nostalgia whip my ass. I like to live based in reality. And Matt Schaub was okay, bro. Like, let's stop.
He was showing
He did have a season where he was low-key for a minute in an MVP conversation. But then that quickly changed. Niggas realized, yeah, we're on drugs.
Chemistry with Kubiak running the West Coast scheme. And in 2009, that chemistry took another step.
Pressure coming, Schaub unloads and complete to Johnson. Andre Johnson, touchdown.
The 2009 Texans went on to win 9 games, just missing the playoffs. But for what felt like the first time in franchise history, they had a cutting-edge offense. In his 3rd year as the team's QB, Matt Schaub had gone from an average, injury-prone game manager to leading the league in completions, attempts, and yards, achieving his first career Pro Bowl.
Come on, I told niggas I wouldn't lie.
League in yards as arguably the best receiver in the NFL. This season truly showcased.
It wasn't no argument at that time. I'm gonna be honest. Around that time, everybody was like, "Nah, Dre #1." Like.
How well the West Coast system could work when it begins to develop. Even with a complete lack of a run game, the passing game worked so efficiently that it made up for it. It was just too bad that the defense wasn't very good. And unfortunately, the defense was an even bigger liability in 2010. Happened in 2011.
Under the gun, he goes down.
In 2011, the defense dramatically improved, going from 29th to 4th in points allowed. Once again, the run game was dominant, led by Arian Foster. And also, unfortunately, Andre Johnson suffered an injury that took him out most of the season. But it didn't seem to affect Matt Schaub too much.
Here's the play fake. Schaub will run. Touchdown, Houston.
Matt Schaub was excellent when he was out there, as he led the league in yards per completion and put up the 6th highest passer rating in the NFL. But again, he got injured and missed.
Listen, like I said, shout out to Schaub. Schaub gave us productive numbers. So that's why I could never hate him. That's weird as hell. But I'm just like, let's calm down a little bit.
Despite this, backups TJ Yates and Matt Leinart did just enough to help get the Texans to a 10-6 record to reach their first ever playoff appearance.
Now, I'm going to tell you how this shit go. Boomers. Yeah, I know I'm not lying. Tell I got a little knowledge of my favorite team. We're going to go against the Bengals. It's not going to be a pretty game. Texans going to win a contested game. We're hype as fuck. The next week, I believe it's Baltimore or it's New England. I can't remember. We're gonna go on the road game. We're gonna lose. But we're going to be so optimistic as fans and be like, yo, imagine what happens if we get Matt Schaub. Oh, my God, we're going to do something. Matt Schaub comes back the next year. We don't do a motherfucking thing.
With
I even think he has a horrible year.
Yates starting that wildcard game, J.J. Watt and Arian Foster stole the show. The Texans went on to crush the Bengals 31-10, which ended up being a special moment for the city of Houston to experience their first playoff victory of the Texans era. The following week, they ended up losing in a close game to the Ravens. And it was a day that saw T.J. Yates throw 3 picks and put up a 28.7 passer rating. For Texans fans, I'm sure they couldn't help but think that they would have won that day with Matt Schaub.
Yes.
How different would that playoff run have been if Matt Schaub was healthy?
I think that was our year to possibly win it all.
And it's, guess what? Andre Johnson felt that way. Whenever I say that, niggas think I'm lying. Nigga, it wasn't just Texans players that felt that way too. There were people in the media talking around that time saying, yeah, the Texans could have did something with that roster. They could have made a deep run. But guess what? It's a whole lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We got so many teams that talk like that. But whenever I mention it, though, niggas be thinking I'm lying. Some weird-ass reason.
Everyone was healthy. Man, we was a hell of a football team, man.
The 2012 offseason had a massive storyline in regards to a quarterback that had become available, Peyton Manning. After spending 14 years with the Colts, winning 4 MVPs and a Super Bowl in that span, Manning's neck injury led him to missing the 2011 season due to surgery, and it potentially meant that his career was going to come to a close. The uncertainty of his future led the Colts to going in a different direction, making Manning a free agent. This was something that was unthinkable just a couple years prior. Manning still felt like he was going to be able to play, and there were plenty of teams that were willing to take a risk on him. Interestingly enough, Manning's first choice, as some speculate, was the Houston Texans due to Gary Kubiak's offense with some serious weapons on the offensive side and a strong defense. But Houston never really considered it. They felt like it was wrong to abandon Matt Schaub, who had been good for them.
The fuck out my motherfucking face. I'll take Peyton Manning right now. That barely could even throw the fucking ball over the prime Matt Schaub. Fuck is wrong with this team? Why did I choose these motherfuckers? Matter of fact, why did they choose me? Are you fucking crazy?
And the reality of their salary situation meant that they would have to get rid of a few good players. Owner Bob McNair did not want to do that, so they told Manning that they weren't interested, and he eventually became a Denver Bronco. In 2012, Schaub returned to be the starter. Also, the Texans decided to double down on Schaub by giving him a contract extension worth up to $62 million. And to put it lightly, the Texans dominated.
I'm sorry, man, Schaub, I was wrong. I think you did do good this year. I was very wrong. You still ain't paid me, no nigga. Good shit, though, man, Schaub. I'm sorry.
By the end of Week 13, Houston was the top dog in the AFC with an 11-1 record. This was tied for the best in the NFL.
Nigga, we was hooping, bro.
And with a 2-game first place.
I forgot the year, but bro, we was so cold. These niggas can't finish, bro.
Lead in the conference, it looked like Houston could be the favorite to reach the Super Bowl from the AFC. Schaub had continued to do what he had done since joining the team. He played efficient football and threw about a 2-to-1 interception ratio with a top 10 passer rating in the NFL to complement their dominant run game. Arian Foster once again led the league in touchdowns, and Andre Johnson was back in his elite form, pulling in 112 catches for nearly 1,600 yards. Also, J.J. Watt.
This the fucking year when they walked into the Patriots Stadium with them jerseys on, I think, or them varsity jackets.
Was on track to be the defensive player of the year. But unfortunately, they would lose 3 of their last 4 games to fall to 12-4. This cost them.
Yes, it is. Winning there, these niggas lost 14-42.
The 1 and 2 seed, which meant that they were not going to get a bye week in the playoffs. The momentum had faded, but still, this team was a contender. Bro. They grinded out a win versus the Bengals, but were quickly put in their place the following week as they were torched by the Patriots.
Well, you know what? This game just helped me out because if we had Peyton Manning, this game we would have lost too. Peyton Manning Every time when he go against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, he can't lock the fuck in. But let me tell you what, if we had Peyton Manning, we wouldn't have lost that motherfucking the top seed.
Schaub ended up with good numbers, but a lot of his best plays came in garbage time. In 2013, expectations were through the roof. They seemingly had the most complete roster in the game with all-pro players all across the field. Schaub may not have been a top 5 quarterback, but he was clearly consistently good enough to run this offense. Also, they drafted wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins in the first round to give Schaub another weapon. Early into 2013, the Texans jumped out to a 2-0 start as many expected, but then disaster struck.
Fucking bum.
In surreal fashion, Matt Schaub threw a pick 6 in 4 consecutive games to set an NFL record.
He fell off the cliff. I was a year too early, but I ain't wrong.
It was almost breathtaking to witness, and it really set the tone for a shocking season.
Look at that shit. Look, we'll have to wake up at 11 a.m. on a Sunday and watch.
Instead of contending for a Super Bowl, the Texans shockingly lost 14 straight games. And along the way, they fired Gary Kubiak.
A 4-man rush. And then Schaub has this one.
This bum ended up getting Gary Kubiak fired, dude. Gary Kubiak, the same coach who would go on to win the Super Bowl.
And Matt Schaub has to look on in utter disbelief.
Schaub was eventually benched, and the team decided that they would like to start fresh going into 2014 by trading Schaub to the Raiders. In what had been a consistently good run for a few years, ended about as badly as it could have. But with that said, this is actually one of the few feel-good stories.
And you're right, bro. He ended up winning a ring with Peyton.
Overall, when it comes to this video series. At least the Texans had finally reached a few postseasons in the Schaub era. And overall, Schaub never had the talent to become a superstar in the NFL.
Schaub, I'm sorry, I don't want to.
But he got the right coaching and weapons. So
he gave us our first
good.
consistency at quarterback.
It's
I appreciate
kind of the
him.
opposite story to David Carr. The other interesting thing was that Houston had done a decent job with quarterback continuity. Unlike bad teams like the Browns and Jets, the Texans had just 2 main starting quarterbacks over their first 12 years. But after trading Schaub, the team would enter a few years of a destabilized quarterback room. On the surface, firing Kubiak may have seemed like a surprising move, because he had completely turned around this franchise before having just one bad season. But with how high the expectations were, with how strong the roster was, combined with undisciplined play and growing concerns over his health, led to Kubiak's firing. To replace Kubiak, the team hired Bill O'Brien.
المظالم حتى الأراذيل ساموا رسول أهل العزائم فالقول قول الصوارم كي تسترد المظالم حتى الأراذيل ساموا رسول أهل العزائم القول قول الصوارم كي تسترد.
This guy is a football terrorist. He's a football terrorist. You're gonna see him. We're going to win the AFC South 3 times with this guy. But they're going to overlook multiple years and multiple decisions of fucked up things he was doing until he completely tears the team apart.
Patriots offensive coach, who had been at Penn State the previous 2 years. Going into 2014, the Texans were expected to bounce back and be a reasonably competitive team. Probably not Super Bowl contender or even playoff contender, but at least better than 2013.
He's a genius.
After all, the roster was still stacked on both sides of the ball. There was just one major problem. Who was going to be this team's quarterback? Well, like I said, they got rid of Schaub, and they also got rid of backups TJ Yates and Case Keenum. Bill O'Brien built an entirely new quarterback.
He got rid of Case Keenum. Case Keenum, who And I'm not saying Case Keenum should have been a starter for us, but to completely get rid of him, I didn't understand it. Case Keenum went on to give Minnesota some solid years. I didn't understand it, to be honest, but let's keep it going. Again, I'm not saying he should have been a starter.
Signing veteran journeyman Ryan Fitzpatrick. He also drafted Tom Savage in the 4th round, and they acquired Ryan Mallett from the Patriots by sending them.
He then, one of his first things that he did, he decides that he wants Ryan Mallett to be our starting quarterback.
A 7th round pick. O'Brien had coached Mallett when he was in New England a few years back, so that move made sense. 2014 was quite a surprise. The defense led by J.J. Watt returned to its elite form as he won Defensive Player of the Year in an absolutely dominant season. Running back Arian Foster once again did his thing, rushing for over 1,200 yards on nearly 5 yards a clip. And the two-headed monster of Andre Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins topped over 2,000 receiving yards.
Hey, Alfred Blues doing his thing as well.
Combined. The most unstable part of
Alfred Blue ain't do shit. Never mind. He ain't do a damn thing. Shut up, nigga. Us receiving, all right.
This team was that year's quarterbacks. Ryan Fitzpatrick started out the year as the starter, and the team grinded out a 4-5 record with him under center. He had some good but not spectacular numbers, somewhat similar to a typical Matt Schaub season. However, O'Brien grew incredibly frustrated with Fitzpatrick's limitations and decided to bench him for his former New England backup, Ryan Mallett. Things ended badly for Mallett as he tore his pec in his 2nd game. This forced Ryan Fitzpatrick back into the lineup, and a new-look Fitzpatrick, after shaving his long beard he had prior to his benching, played like a man possessed, throwing a franchise record 6 touchdowns in his first game back. It had become known as the legendary revenge game. Sadly, he broke his leg just 2 weeks later. And then filling in for Fitzpatrick, backup Tom Savage injured his knee on the final drive. With a 7-7 record, the Texans were still trying to make the playoffs, and they were forced to find an emergency quarterback. Case Keenum had been cut after his infamous 0-8 run with the team back in 2013.
At Case
He had
Keenum
spent
and
the
Andre
2014
connection.
season on the Rams practice squad
Throwing
until
the ball,
he got a
bro.
surprise call. Then he signed immediately with the Texans to finish out their 2014 season. With the season on the line and very little time to prepare, he did just enough to help the team win both games to finish out the year 9-7. They didn't make the playoffs, but it was an awesome feel-good story to end Bill O'Brien's first year in charge.
I just don't know why the fuck he got rid of Case Keenum.
The Texans entered 2015 with some decent expectations. The roster was stacked, especially defensively, but Andre Johnson was released after requesting to be traded or cut, and the quarterback room was still not well settled.
Andre didn't want to stay with this nigga for long at all.
The team traded away Keenum and Fitzpatrick, and the team decided to sign another Patriot backup that O'Brien was familiar with, Brian Hoyer. The quarterback battle between Mallett and Hoyer was the feature storyline on
the quarterback battle between Mallett and Hoyer. This fucking guy was terrible.
Hard Knocks that year, even though both guys weren't considered high-end or even average-level starters. During the season, the defense carried once again. Unfortunately, Arian Foster got hurt and would never play for the team again. And at quarterback, the team saw 4 different starters.
Look at this shit, man. Cecil Shorts, that's Cam Newton. That ain't Cam Newton. DJ Daniels. Oh my God, bro. This is a bad quarterback room, bro. Brandon Weeden.
With Brian Hoyer starting the most games and playing the best overall. He played at roughly a league average level, and the Texans managed to sneak into the wild card with a 3-game win streak to end the season at 9-7. However, their 30-0 wild card loss versus the Chiefs was a slap to the face surrounding their quarterback situation. Hoyer was awful, throwing 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, losing a fumble, and finishing with a negative adjusted yards per attempt. Overall, it was...
Oh no, who would have knew that Brian Hoyer was going to play bad as a starter? I think the rest of the fucking NFL. Like he was not a starter. So tired of niggas being benefiting from the Patriots fucking system.
Clear, the Texans needed to find a better answer at the position. Remember how a few years prior, Peyton Manning was heavily interested in coming to Houston to play in Gary Kubiak's
Lord
system?
have mercy.
Well, after Kubiak was fired by the Texans, he eventually became the Broncos head coach in 2015. And in his first season as their head coach, they won the Super Bowl. Although Manning was pretty atrocious that year, seeing that combo of coach and quarterback win it all had to sting for some Houston fans who remembered that this could have been their duo. Prior to 2015, Manning was unbelievable, especially in 2013, setting numerous NFL records, which included throwing for over 5,400 yards and 55 touchdowns on his way to winning MVP. Even in 2012, he was the best quarterback in the NFL.
Come on, my nigga.
Imagining him on that 2012 Houston team would have been electric.
Come on, gang.
And they would have...
Bro, I don't even care what the rest of the roster looked like. You would have had Peyton Manning throwing the ball to Andre Johnson and handing it off to Aaron Foster with that zone running blocking scheme. But they said no. Man, Peyton, I'm sorry. We gotta honor Matt Schaub. What?
Have been possibly the Super Bowl favorites. Snapping back to reality, obviously Houston's quarterback situation.
Bro, you gonna cakewalk to the playoffs easily. Look at the division that we had, bro. The quarterbacks at that time, Jaguars, David Garrard at quarterback, I believe, or Blaine Gabbert, I believe. Come on, bro. The Colts, they in limbo. They trying to find out what the fuck they got going on. What you got? Andrew Luck. All right, man, Peyton Manning would have waxed that shit. They got the fuck up out of there, bro. You got to find your way. I'm in the division easily. And then Tennessee, who the fuck was throwing the ball up there? Why would they not do that, dog?
Was less than ideal after not bringing in Manning. Going into 2016, they decided, hey, we do want a piece of that Denver Broncos offense. So they brought in Peyton Manning's backup.
Free agency started all across the NFL today, and the
I'm not going to keep playing this song. I'm so sorry because I don't even know who the hell this dude is. But just one more time. This nigga decided, him and Rick Smith, you don't get away from this. They decided, let's bring in Brock Osweiler. He's 6'8".
Texans made the most noise. Brock Osweiler is the new quarterback of the Texans. He said no thank you to the Broncos.
Bill O'Brien took his chance on the tallest quarterback in the NFL, going with Brock Osweiler.
I was fooled at first.
I was not. Pretty massive contract considering Osweiler's limited play time. He had split time with Peyton Manning in 2015 due to Manning's poor play. And while Osweiler had his moments, he wasn't amazing. But he did play well at times, helping the Broncos finish the season strong before they went back to Manning and won the Super Bowl. The Texans gave Osweiler a 4-year, $72 million deal, which was considered quite a gamble.
Did you think it was a little crazy what Brock Osweiler got?
You tag him with Billy O'Brien and Hopkins and the run game that they want there and that defense. I think that's the best free agent move we've seen so far.
What did he just say? Hold on, I'm sorry, I was reading something. Brand new to cut, grinding butt. Just got CFB, and my objectives ain't tracking. Any ideas how to fix? I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea because I don't play mutt or cut. So I'm so sorry. Maybe if you go to I think dub.w streams, maybe they can help you there.
Osweiler got.
You tag him with Billy O'Brien and Hopkins and the run game that they want there and that defense. I think that's the best free agent move we've seen so far.
You're on crack. I wonder why I ain't hear you talk about sports in a while.
Basically, they were hoping they found their next Matt Schaub, but that did not happen.
Four-man rush, and the ball slips out of his hand.
Rolling on the field is a fumble.
Osweiler's performance was abysmal, throwing more interceptions than touchdowns and averaging just 5.8 yards per pass. He looked like a backup and struggled to get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins and rookie first-round pick Will Fuller. Eventually, O'Brien benched him in favor of Tom Savage, who did just enough to keep Houston in the playoff race.
Osweiler is benched. Tom Savage is coming into the game, and the fans here in Houston go nuts. Wow.
And once again, this Texans
Whitney
defense
Merciless.
heavily
Come on,
carried their
man.
anemic offense to 9 wins. Due to an injury to Savage, Osweiler started the team's playoff game versus the Raiders.
Jeez.
And luckily, the Raiders were without Derek Carr that day, and they were terrible. Despite Osweiler throwing for just 168 yards, the Texans won, mostly due to a terrible offensive game by the Raiders. The following week, Osweiler would throw 3 interceptions in a blowout loss to the Patriots. It was pretty much deja vu, and this sobering...
I think this is the day. Let me look it up. But I don't have time to look it up. This is when I was sick watching that game, and the Post Malone "I Fall Apart" came on. I watched this nigga do this to me. 3 picks versus the Patriots. Fucking bastard.
Playoff loss made it clear that, once again, the quarterback situation needed to be addressed in the offseason.
I'm so glad y'all niggas laughing at that.
The Texans ended up trading Brock Osweiler in one of the most unique deals ever made in NFL history. It was a trade called a salary dump, where basically Houston sent the Browns Osweiler and a 2nd and 6th round pick in exchange for the Browns taking on his bad contract and an additional 4th round pick. It wasn't like the Browns wanted Osweiler, but they had cap space and wanted to get more draft assets, and the Texans needed cap space. So it was quite an innovative approach to trading. Well, with Osweiler gone, what were the Texans going to do at quarterback in 2017? For the first time since David Carr was selected, the Texans drafted a first-round quarterback.
Yo, during this draft, when the draft first started, the quarterback that I wanted us to draft, Patrick Mahomes. The reason why I wanted us to draft Patrick Mahomes is because you can go look at his pre-draft shit. He wasn't projected to go as high as he fucking went. I swear to God. I used to have Patrick Mahomes as my banner. Swear to God. He was my banner on Twitter in a Texan uniform because when I watched him at Texas Tech, he did a lot of great plays, but he would do some stupid shit. Oh my God. I was like, man, I'm a little nervous about this nigga. I thought Deshaun Watson was going to be long gone. When Patrick Mahomes got drafted early, and when we was on the board, I thought we got the steal of the draft. Lo and behold, God, I wish I was wrong. God, I wish we got the nigga I wanted. I wish we got the nigga I wanted. Kobe's 81. Look, it's okay. I know niggas not gonna believe that. It's fine. But bro, you deadass can go watch the draft highlight shit. You can go look it up. The Patrick Mahomes draft assessments. Patrick Mahomes was not projected to go that high at all. But it's all right. Y'all can have it. But I deadass thought I wanted Mahomes.
With the 12th pick, the Houston Texans.
Now, let's be real though. If we got Mahomes, he wouldn't have been as good as he is now. Fuck no. Bro, Mahomes went to the perfect situation. I still think he would have been solid. But, nigga, he got messed up with Andy. And it was over. You can't get them 2 niggas each other. It was destined to be.
Select Deshaun Watson.
So I'm not expecting that he would have been that great for us. Like
into a superstar in the NFL, which really wasn't something Houston had experienced since they came back to Houston with the Texans in 2002.
Shit, the only quarterback I knew I didn't want in that draft, Mitchell Trubisky. On my mama, I knew. I wanted Mahomes because I ain't know who he was going to be. I know I ain't want Trubisky because listen, gang, I'm going to be real. I be so tired of these quarterbacks that don't be looking like nothing at all when it come down to the college season for real. But then they just, oh no, he might be the best out of all of them. I'm looking at this, I'm like, bro, this nigga not even better than Mahomes. How is he better than Mahomes? And then nah, man, Trubisky's the one. Fuck is going on? Police, I'm sorry, D-Rose. You sent me because I said Trubisky. I'm sorry, bro. I hate when they do that shit, dog. I hate when they elevate quarterbacks draft time. And for some guys, I get it. And yes, I guess it looked like a little hindsight. Mahomes, I could understand it because Mahomes threw for a shit ton of yards. He was at Texas Tech. I don't understand that Trubisky shit at all, bro.
Sure, Schaub had some great seasons, but talent-wise, he was never more than average. And the other quarterbacks that the Texans trotted out there weren't some elite talent or anything. They were mostly average or below average level guys running an offense that had great weapons and a great defense to carry the load. Well, Deshaun Watson changed that.
Yep.
Watson throwing deep downfield, and it is caught. Will Fuller.
For the span of little over a month, Watson went on a furious streak of dominance. This included a 4-touchdown performance in a 57-14 blowout over Tennessee, followed up by a 5-touchdown, 0-interception game versus Kansas City. And then over the next 2 games, he threw 7 more touchdown passes. At that point, Watson was on pace to break so many rookie records. As a player,
one of the reasons why he didn't break the rookie records, Bill O'Brien. Bro, I don't remember who the first rookie quarterback to win in Foxborough was, but that was supposed to be Deshaun Watson. Go look it up if you think I'm lying. Go watch Watson versus the Patriots. That year, Watson, I think he started off rocky that game, started hooping in the end of the game, and instead of trusting and staying with the hot hand, O'Brien basically took this nigga off the field. I'm like, what the fuck is you doing? I'm mad at this nigga, but the media's like, oh, what? They do win a lot of games. I hated this nigga, bro.
He brought everything to the table. He was evasive out
Look
of
at
the
this shit.
pocket
Go to
with his
highlights.
mobility.
Look what he's
He
doing.
was a playmaker, constantly providing deep bombs down the field. His abilities were undeniable.
Oh, get that nigga
and
off
it
my
was
screen.
so much different from the limited West Coast style quarterbacks that the team had been employing for over a decade. Unfortunately, Watson tore his ACL in late October, which ended his season after 6 starts. But despite that, it was fun and thrilling, and it gave Texans fans a hope moving forward. And when Watson returned, he continued the magic.
3rd and 11. Watson steps
on,
up,
bro.
spins. Watson.
Look at that bad O-line play. I want y'all to know, O-line play ain't
Watson
changed.
would go on to throw for over 4,000 yards and rushed for an additional 500 yards with 31 touchdowns in a Pro Bowl season the following year. The Texans went 11-5 and ended up losing in the wild card. It wasn't a great game for Watson that day, but instead of what people felt with Osweiler, Hoyer, and others,
I don't know who he
Watson's
lost in the wild
talent
card.
superseded those worries.
Was it Steelers? I
It
feel
felt
we
like
lost to the
he could
Steelers
become a
once.
top 5 quarterback in the near future. And over the
was
next
it the
2
Ravens?
seasons, that's pretty much what happened. In 2019, Houston's defense performed about as bad as they had since the 2013 debacle. And yet, mostly because
Oh, Brad, don't you ever do that. Don't do that.
because of Watson, the team won 10 games. Watson produced 5 game-winning drives, regularly showcasing his clutchness. One of his intangible traits everybody saw when he was back in college was how good he was in the final minutes of a game. Most notably in that national championship versus Alabama. For 2019, everything culminated in the epic wildcard game versus Buffalo, where we saw the battle between 2 of the league's brightest young stars, Deshaun Watson and Josh Allen. Both players had dazzling moments that
Where we
day,
supposed to be
but
at.
the defining moment happened in overtime.
Pressure off the edge. Watson survives it and then checks down to Jones to the 10-yard line. Taiwan Jones.
This is truly the high point of the Deshaun Watson era in Houston. Most people at that time saw Watson as a top 5 quarterback, and how could you not?
Josh Allen played terrible that game. Listen, I'm not telling niggas how to bet at all. Please don't do that. Like, bet on your own, do your thing. But I need niggas to look into the numbers of when Josh Allen plays the Texans. He's horrible. He's horrible. We whoop his ass almost every single time. He might be dominant versus everybody else. He don't be dominant versus the Texans. He can't do nothing about it.
He was electric, clutch, a playmaker in and out of the pocket, and he completely revived Houston's offense since the day he stepped into the building. The following week, Watson and the Texans got their shot to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And early,
This is supposed to be we had 2 years that could have been our Super Bowl years. But now it's 3. Oh my fucking goodness. This was year 2. We had they're going to be Super Bowl champions up 24-0. And guess what happens? Bill Belichick decides. No, sorry, Bill O'Brien decides. Let's stop being aggressive and just try to run out the clock in the second quarter, third quarter. What the fuck are you doing?
on, Watson and the Texans looked like they were going to completely blow them out. Early into the second quarter, The Houston Texans were up 24-0. It was unbelievable. Houston fans were already celebrating what appeared to be a victory and what would be their first AFC Championship appearance the following week. But then Patrick Mahomes happened.
Oh. Here come the Magic Man.
Pass caught on the run for the touchdown. Damian Williams. And they fake it. They snap it to Reed, and he is stopped by Sorensen. Mahomes to Kelsey, and another touchdown for Kansas City.
Unbelievably, the tide completely shifted, and after falling behind 24-0, the Chiefs blew out the Texans 51-31. This was one of those games where if you watched it, you just sat there stunned. It's one of the greatest displays of momentum swings that I've ever seen, and this was sort of a nail in the coffin for the Texans. Well, actually not the game.
It should have been. And here I am. I'm already hating this nigga. But I'm like, all right, we make it to the playoffs. At this moment, I wanted this nigga fired. I told his story time and time. I'm going to stay telling the same stories because you know I'm not lying. I needed to vent to somebody about this nigga. Nigga, I went on Reddit. Gang. And started venting about this nigga. I said, he's absolutely ass. I'm tired of hearing about it's going to be this year. I'm tired of hearing about it's going to be next year. I need this guy fucking gone. You want to know what them niggas did? All them niggas thumbed down my post. And they was like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's the problem. And guess what? They end up giving this nigga the GM roles. And he goes on to be an absolute dictator. He ruins the team, and those same niggas in that Reddit had nothing to say. And what they pretended like they didn't just have this nigga back. I can't stand a motherfucker that wait for the crash to happen. To be like, oh, we should have did something. No. When you see somebody swerving off the road, let's get this bitch ass nigga off the road. And I seen him doing it. Like.
And this was sort of a nail in the coffin for the Texans. Well, actually not the game. It was after the game where the team made the decision to make Bill O'Brien the GM. And decisions he made led Houston to becoming a laughingstock.
DeAndre Hopkins is part of that deal?
This is when my Texans knowledge becomes very hazy. You want to know why? Because I love sports too much. And while I love basketball, I don't love any sport as much as I love football. And boy, this trade hurt me so fucking bad, my nigga. I stopped watching for real. I had to take a step back, my nigga. I couldn't, bro. Just watching this shit. I would turn it on and just be disgusted. You hurt me, Bill. You fucking hurt me.
Yeah, you just said it.
That
DeAndre
shit
Hopkins,
hurt me,
the new
dog.
Arizona Cardinals receiver.
Yo.
In a shocking move, the Texans traded their all-pro receiver DeAndre Hopkins, a player who had such great chemistry with Deshaun Watson. Not only did they trade Hopkins, but basically all they got in return was an aging running back and a second-round pick. This was mostly fueled by Bill O'Brien's unwillingness to pay Hopkins, which is pretty laughable looking back because they took on David Johnson's relatively large contract for an aging running back. 2020 was a disaster for the Texans from the get-go. The lone bright spot was Deshaun Watson, as he continued to play excellent, completely carrying this team on his back. He led the league in passing yards and set the franchise record for touchdown passes. And yet, the team only won 4 games. The defense was a shell.
I fucking hate this dude, bro. As much as you can hate somebody from a football standpoint, I fucking hate this guy. There's no love in my heart for this nigga at all. Outside the field, do your thing. I don't wish no bad on this dude. But on the field, I fucking hate this nigga.
Of its former self, and Bill O'Brien was fired after just 4 games.
Why the fuck would you Ooh, my. It's over, bro. I'm mad about the past.
The Texans were one of, if not the worst team in the league in nearly every major category.
Hate this nigga, bro.
From rushing the ball to their rush and pass defense. In fact, the only area that they excelled in was the pass game offensively.
This nigga's terrible.
Seemingly the only.
He ruined Bama. Everywhere he goes, he ruins shit. This nigga sucks. They sent this nigga to Bama thinking he was gonna fix something. Had Alabama looking human. And that's around the time when Bama was stepping on niggas. We know, hey, as a nigga that hate Alabama, they was stepping on niggas. If you want a nigga to sabotage your team, hire Bill O'Brien. No, sorry, Bill. Yeah, I keep saying Bill Belichick. Hire Bill O'Brien, because he's ass.
Holding this team together was Deshaun Watson. He was the only bright spot in the team's future that they could look to. In fact, they gave him a massive 4-year, $156 million contract to become the face of their franchise. Well, that was until Watson requested a trade.
Deshaun Watson has officially said, I want out of town, after they hired David Culley as their head coach.
And I don't know what the fuck was going on up in here. Hey, I'm telling y'all right here, I'm about to just start watching the video with y'all. Man, bro, they start doing stupid shit. They hired the fucking church chaplain dude to run the team. I said, man, I can't, bro. I had to take a step back. I didn't root for nobody else. I did stop watching football like that. I couldn't deal with it. It was bad.
That happened this morning. Deshaun Watson woke up and said, all right, officially get me the f*** out of here.
From broken promises on leadership hires, to seeing the front office fall apart, to the horrible DeAndre Hopkins trade, led Watson to wanting out. He did not want to play a part in the same organization that had made David Carr what he became as a pro player.
The team had enough prayer, bro.
Watson claimed he would never play for the organization again. This was heartbreaking for fans to hear, considering that they had finally found a superstar at the position. This was pretty big news, until the much bigger news broke.
Another developing story we've been following since late last night. Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson now facing multiple lawsuits alleging sexual misconduct.
In March 2021, the first of multiple civil lawsuits accusing Watson of sexual assault and inappropriate conduct broke news. The initial news was alarming, but with every passing week, the details became more and more horrifying. By April, the number of women who had made claims against Watson had reached over 20. Corporate sponsors like Nike and Beats by Dre either suspended or terminated their contracts with Watson. And between the team and Watson, the future immediately became uncertain.
Fuck you up, bro.
Combine this avalanche of legal trouble with Watson's desire to never play.
Shout out Tony Bugsby. Yo, hey, no cap. Listen, I don't say much about this shit because, bro, this nigga like he was doing some freakazoid shit for sure. All right, freakazoid shit. But I always do look at this shit with a small side eye because Tony Bugsby led that shit, to be honest. Now, again, I'm not defending this nigga. Get the fuck up out of here. I don't know nothing. But Tony Bugsby is a fucking sick person, and I know that if it's a chance to go get a check, he'll fucking do it. He is sick. He tried to do that shit with Jay-Z and that lady. That lady was clearly not in her right mind. And he was trying to hide that lady so he could sue Jay-Z and get some money because he was big on the headline and trying to like basically extort niggas into money. So with this nigga was a freakazoid. Don't get it wrong. But the fact that Tony Bugsby led this shit, I'm like, I don't know nothing. I'm just taking a step back.
The organization again, and you have a disastrous situation, to put things lightly. Basically, both parties agreed to make Watson a healthy scratch in 2021, and during that time, the team would look to trade Watson throughout the year. The Texans ended up paying Watson his entire $10.5 million base salary to sit on the bench every week. After it looked like Watson was going to become a Miami Dolphin, the Cleveland Browns ended up offering the most insane deal that Watson couldn't refuse. A fully guaranteed $230 million contract on top of sending—
This might sound weird, but why didn't Watson just buy some hoes? Because, bro, when niggas is freakazoids, they weird and they don't like work in logic. They need some fucking real help and get them away from people.
the Texans 6 draft picks, including 3 first-round picks. It was an unprecedented deal that ultimately blew up in the Browns' face. For the Texans, considering how nightmarish things were at one point, they got out about as good as you could have ever imagined. For the short term, the Texans were a joke. During that 2021 debacle, they had arguably the worst offense in the NFL under David Culley, who the team fired after just 1 season. At quarterback, they trotted out a combination of David Mills and Tyrod Taylor, who led the team to an uninspired 4 wins.
Pressure on Mills, look out. Throws, and it's going to be picked.
Expected to be one of the worst teams in 2022, that's just what happened. They won just 3 games as Davis Mills led the NFL in interceptions. And once again, with a year 1 coach in Lovie Smith.
Listen, first of all, shout out to Lovie. But, yo, this Davis Mills shit, I am sympathetic of him because he's walking into a very, very bad situation. But I do need Texans fans to know what the fuck Davis Mills was the last time that we were playing him as well and how he looks now. Bro, Davis Mills, whenever he plays, he is ass for 3 quarters. Or for almost 3 quarters. He's not good. But then the last quarter, oh shit, all right, he's not that bad. That dude is not a good quarterback. Like, he okay. I'm just hoping that eventually we trick one team into we could fool a team to trading for him and we'll get some picks. That nigga ain't good.
NFL in interceptions. And once again, with a year 1 coach in Lovie Smith.
Shit, that's Dak for no, but nigga, Dak can be elite. Davis Mills ain't taking no elite steps. Like, Dak had an MVP season this year, or MVP level season, sorry. Cowboys defense is just bad. That ain't Davis Mills. You can never call him that.
They fired him after the season. 2021 and 2022 were dark times for Texans fans. There was almost nothing worth getting excited about, as they were one of the worst teams in the league. They had 0 continuity, and quarterback Davis Mills had moments, but was mostly mediocre. Overall, they fired 3 head coaches in 3 years. Something had to give. After the team hired defensive-minded DeMeco Ryans moving into 2023, the team had a major decision to make in the upcoming NFL draft.
Change my title. Ain't no wham in the motherfucking chair,
Because
nigga.
the Texans won their final regular season game in 2022,
this game made me mad.
It cost them the number 1 overall pick and the chance to draft quarterback Bryce Young. Even then, Houston was in significant discussions to acquire the number 1 pick from.
I didn't want Bryce Young though. I wanted Bryce a week before the draft. I had changed my mind. The whole way through the draft, I know I want to see this Stroud though. A week before the draft, even niggas remember though, I was like, I ain't gonna lie. Something about this Bryce nigga, man. This nigga, he kind of cooking.
Carolina. But the negotiations stalled, and Houston remained with the number 2 overall pick.
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State.
As the second highest rated quarterback in the class, C.J. Stroud was praised for his elite passing ability from the pocket.
Yes, sir.
He was an excellent decision maker and was highly polished entering the pros. And his veteran presence immediately showed up during his rookie year.
Action to start, good protection. Here's it out for Collins. He's got it. 1 play, touchdown.
In a season,
but also too, honestly, if you hear people talk about C.J. Stroud rookie season, it'll let you know if they really watched C.J. Stroud's rookie season. To be real, because they act like he was just so much of a different player. You want to know the difference between C.J. Stroud rookie season and now? He threw more deep passes. He always had accuracy issues with throwing certain passes. Now he'll be really accurate, but then you'll get 1 or 2 passes like, why the fuck did he throw the ball like that? But come on, man, how the fuck you just make that one and do that one? He do the same shit now. But one of the really big differences, though, the playmaker, somebody just said it, the play calling has gotten dramatically worse. His play has changed. He has to be better. The play calling has gotten dramatically worse, and the offensive line has gotten dramatically worse. All of these things have changed. But the people that don't watch the games, that only looked at the Texans through highlights, because especially that year, my nigga, niggas didn't want to watch no motherfucking Texans. You thought we was going to be ass. So niggas wasn't really watching that shit. But now all of a sudden, boom, now all of a sudden they some Texans experts and they know what's wrong with this nigga. When you dead ass really wasn't watching this nigga. You was watching through fucking highlights all on Red Zone.
Many expected the Texans to be possibly the worst team in the NFL once again. CJ Stroud led one of
like this. What's this? 9.
This one is off the hands and picked off.
Oh God. I like football too much, but I gotta stop watching this shit.
The most surprising one-year turnarounds in recent memory. He went on to win Offensive Rookie of the Year by a landslide, and even received MVP votes for his historic performance.
That's what my Super Bowl dream
he looked
just
like
died.
a
Flash, I'm not gonna offer to time you out. That's what my Super Bowl dream died. You just told me that shit, bro. That's very fucking insensitive. I'm timing you out, dude. That was fucked up. Where you at? Where's this nigga name? There we go. I got him, y'all. That was very fucking insensitive.
Year pro out there leading the NFL in yards per game as well as touchdown to interception ratio. This was something that only 2 other quarterbacks in league history had accomplished. Tom Brady in 2007 and Joe Montana in 1989. To be mentioned with the 2 greatest quarterbacks of all time in their primes would be a special moment for any player. But for Stroud to do it in his rookie season is beyond amazing. Stroud truly makes a case for the best rookie season ever. And not just regular season, but his wildcard performance.
No, he had a case for possibly the best rookie season as a quarterback until the next year JD5 came through. JD5 rookie season was crazy. Crazy.
Performance too. Against the Browns, Stroud threw for a near-perfect passer rating with 3 touchdowns and a blowout victory. Even though they lost the following week to Baltimore, the excitement had returned to the city of Houston. It had been tough times since the Deshaun Watson news broke, but this had begun to make up for it. The promising aspect about this season was that they had a very young roster and low expectations, which pretty much meant that these guys were only going
Dak
to
rookie
get
season
better.
was nice too, don't get me wrong.
Then something weird began to happen.
Stroud, well protected in the pocket, lost over the middle, it's picked!
In 2024, CJ Stroud regressed. The offensive line had clearly developed into a bigger issue in
This is Daryl.
Drumsticks.
That's the only way, chat.
Can you shout out my boy?
Hey, Sip, I should time you out to this day, my nigga. Why the fuck would you ever do that?
Second season, and it was clearly affecting him negatively. Stroud began to lean into some bad habits.
Run it back, run it back, run it back, run it back.
Regressed. The offensive line had clearly developed into a bigger issue in his second season, and it was clearly affecting him negatively. Stroud began to lean into some bad habits like throwing off balance, which led to a surge in
That throw was so fucking bad, yo. I ain't gonna lie, that nigga made me want to fight him this day. Fuck are you doing? But the O-line became so ass, this nigga just said, fuck it, we vibing.
Instead of that top 5 level quarterback we saw in 2023, Stroud looked more average in 2024 due to a combination of poor offensive line play, injuries to wideouts like Tank Dell and Nico Collins, bad habits, and a drop in confidence. Still, the Texans jumped out to a 9-5 record before a brutal 4-game stretch saw them finish 10-7. In the playoffs, Justin Herbert was awful, throwing 4 interceptions against Houston.
Hey, when it's another team, we seen him in the playoffs, his food. Chargers, I'm so sorry. 2 years in a row, straight food.
Which led to a blowout victory for the Texans. But in the divisional round versus the Chiefs, the offensive line completely failed the Texans and Stroud. Despite a 9-0 lead, the offense was anemic after that, and they lost by double digits.
And also, the refereeing in that game looked like Argentina versus Egypt. It was insane. The FBI should have been called. I could not believe what they were getting away with that fucking game.
In 2025, many expected Stroud to return to his rookie form, but instead, he saw a similar trajectory to his 2024 season with the lowest pass yards per game of his career.
Order, you know, it be so wild on both sides, bro. Nigga, don't do that. What do you mean, don't do that? when the Chiefs offense looked like, hey, chat, all my niggas, I don't want to talk to the niggas that's Texan haters. Let's talk to the unbiased niggas. Am I lying? The Chiefs offense looked so fucking garbage that game. The only thing that got them started is when they got a bullshit roughing the passer call that gave them an automatic first down after they was about to punt the fucking ball back. Don't tell me no both sides. They looked fucking terrible. And then the refs gave them niggas the ball on their side of the field with a new first down. And then all of a sudden, now they're getting crank started. That shit, that game, honestly, I let it go though. But we just talking facts. That was one of the nuttiest NFL playoff games I've ever seen, my nigga. I said, yo, I see what niggas saying about the Chiefs. This is crazy. These niggas should be investigated.
Stroud also missed a few weeks due to injury. The thing was, Houston's defense was insanely good. They had Pro Bowlers and all pros all over the field. Will Anderson and Derek Stingley Jr. were the faces of arguably the best defense in football. Despite weird inconsistencies offensively, the defense carried these guys to a 12-5 record. Then in the playoffs, things got weird. The Texans completely blew out the Steelers in the wild card. But the bigger headline for them was, what the hell is going on with CJ Stroud?
Ass. What the fuck was that?
Oh, no.
Fucking sandwich.
He never looked comfortable the whole play. Just throw it away.
I'm telling you, my nigga.
He fumbled 5 times,
What are you doing?
losing 2 of them. And he also threw an interception in a shocking performance considering the score. Because of Stroud.
And this is when my shit from CJ Stroud, yo, Sip, this nigga just gifted 5 subs because when we beat the Steelers.
Pulls up three-pointer. Bang! Bang!
This
It's good.
nigga
Wins the game at the buzzer.
This nigga is sick. This is when my CJ Stroud excuses or whatever the fuck you want to call them, they quickly come to an end. Bro, my nigga, learn you're not the fucking hero. I'm tired of your ass. You're not the hero. Just sit back. Fucking relax. Now the next thing with the versus the Patriots, I can understand some of the things. This game, what the fuck was he doing?
The game was actually close in the fourth quarter, but the defense played about as good as you'll ever see a defense play, coming up with multiple big plays, including 2 defensive touchdowns.
What was he doing?
The thinking at this time was, man, this defense is one of the best we've seen in recent memory. If Stroud can just not lose them games, they might just go all the way and win the Super Bowl. Well, the Patriot game happened.
2 big weapons not available. Stroud throws it.
Like, what are you throwing?
And diving try for the interception.
If you saw rookie CJ Stroud play, then what you saw in the 2025 playoffs would have left you speechless. Stroud had followed up his 3-turnover debacle against Pittsburgh with 4 interceptions against New England. And honestly, it could have been more.
That nigga, he cost my team a Super Bowl, bro. That shit not right, bro. That shit not right, bro. His play dead ass cost us a Super Bowl.
CJ Stroud's confidence had completely plummeted, and he had become about as reliable as Nathan Peterman.
Y'all wasn't beating my Seahawks? Are you smoking crack? Go back to watch the Texans versus Seahawks. They was whooping our ass. CJ Stroud played horrible. The Texans defense was so good they got us back in the game. What are you telling me we couldn't do that again? Telling me we couldn't play better? Yeah, the Seahawks could have probably beat us. I don't know. But don't act like they would have whooped the Texans' ass. Don't act like they would. Any nigga, y'all lost? Okay. Any nigga, I can't talk ball with niggas, some of y'all niggas. Y'all niggas bugging the fuck out. The Texans defense was so fucking good in that game. What looked like an absolute blowout. Turned around to, yo, okay, they better stop playing with these Texans. I'm not lying. So I don't know what the fucking playoffs could have been like. CJ Stroud in that weak-ass offense turned into a forever what if.
After losing to the Patriots, Stroud had become the first quarterback in playoff history to throw for 5 interceptions and fumble 5 times in one postseason. And he pulled it off in just 2 games.
I know the whole thing falls on CJ's shoulders. It really does. But no buts.
Let's not act like Darnold had a great game in the Super Bowl. But Darnold did exactly what he needed to do. Like, and the Super Bowl run, because hold on, let me get my thoughts together. Sorry. This Super Bowl, for each, it's so many teams, all your quarterback needed to do was get the fuck out of your defense's way. That's what you needed to do to win the Super Bowl this year. Get out. It was so many great fucking defense. Get the fuck out of your defense way. But time and time again, one quarterback couldn't do it. Another quarterback couldn't do it. Another quarterback couldn't do it. Finally, the one quarterback that did it, they won it. They got the fuck out of it. Nigga, Drake made cruise to the Super Bowl by getting the fuck out of his defense's way. He was not good the whole playoffs, gang. He wasn't good. He just let the other team's quarterback play worse than him. Period. So, like, and that's why I'm mad about this CJ Stroud shit now. But don't get it wrong, though. CJ Stroud was horrible. There is other things that play a factor into that. These are literally facts. Don't get mad at me saying facts. Multiple starters out. Multiple starters. The guy that we going to run our offense through, I don't know why the fuck they chose to run it through Dalton Schultz. Good God, I don't want him on the team no more. I'm going to be real. The guy that we center all our offense around, he go out the first drive of the game. And then we put a nigga in. I didn't even know this nigga was on the team. Who is that nigga to this day? We put him on the field. He ends up falling to see why C.J. Stroud throwing the ball to this nigga. Who was that nigga? Who was that nigga? I'm like, bro, what the fuck was this offense that we decided to run? I deadass don't know. We didn't deserve that. No, it wasn't Cade Stover. I promise you it wasn't Cade Stover. I don't know who the fuck that nigga was. No, I know Xavier Hutchinson. He been on the team forever. It was some other tight end game. Keep it going though.
It really does. But no buts about it. I feel bad for the guy, if you want to know the truth. All he had to do was play average or even below average.
I think it was Harrison.
But to have the worst game ever in that situation, it just can't get worse. I feel bad for him because this whole city is.
Hell no, not Belvin Jordan. Let me go find it. Belvin Jordan has not played for the Texans for 2 years. I'm gonna keep it 100. If this nigga get hurt in training camp again, please. I don't care about no feelings. Release this nigga. Okay? He's taking up a roster spot. It's just a thought of Belvin, whatever the fuck this nigga is. Yo, if this nigga gets hurt in training camp, release this nigga. 2 years in a row. Come on, I'm tired of this shit. This nigga dead ass running off with a check. Actually, fuck that shit. Let's finish this video so we can play NCAA.
Anti-CJ right now.
By the end of the season, the conversation had come full circle. At first, CJ Stroud looked like an all-pro face of the franchise for the next 10 to 15 years. 2 years later, the question was more so, how long is the Texans going to allow him to be their starter? At one point, there were discussions about him getting a huge contract, but with how poorly he's played, how could you pay him a big contract?
You don't prove it.
Really risky. As of now, the Texans are playing a waiting game, opting to let him play out his 4th year, then deciding what to do next. The story closely resembles one that the original Texans fans are painfully aware of. Because the offensive line issues have been a major talking point for 2 years, this does feel somewhat similar to David Carr.
Literally, like I said in the beginning of the video, so you know I don't change my mind. I don't change it. The more things change, the more things stay the same. The Texans' offensive line was one of the worst in the NFL last season, and the season before that, they were one of the worst. So, now, the good thing about this season, though, I don't know how it's going to unfold. We signed some solid some solid guys in free agency. They older, though. So, like Wyatt Tiller, I believe. He older, though. I hope that he still got some in the tank where he can play well. But we also drafted a lineman as well early. I don't know how it's going to go, but please, just make sure this nigga don't be one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league so we can see if he's good or not. Period.
The key difference is that we have seen Stroud prove himself to be a top 10 and even maybe top 5 quarterback when he was a rookie. So for him to fall off as bad as he has, you can argue that this situation is worse. So who is to blame?
Oh, and then, yo, Todd, so I know I could talk ball with my dog, Todd, too. Because, shout out to you. On top of that, we signed a running back. One thing about the last year with the C.J. Stroud in that game versus the Patriots, I want niggas to know, the Texans dead ass didn't have a run game. Almost the entire year. It was, yo, niggas trying to tell me about this Woody Marks nigga. Yo, listen, get that nigga off the field. Matter of fact, keep him on the field. He gonna be off soon. That is the most injury-prone, I'm finna boot up my places, y'all. The most injury-prone nigga I've ever seen in my life, gang. You like, Woody, that motherfucker don't play. That I've never seen a player get hurt every game he plays. That's Woody Marks. That's literally Woody Marks. This nigga is gonna run and get hurt. This nigga's Anthony Davis with a running back number. But this, bro, we couldn't run the ball all year. All year. And then I'm sitting here wondering, is Joe Mixon ever gonna come back? And then come to find out, this rumors this nigga shot himself. I don't know if he really did. I'm like, come on, bro. This shit suck, bro. That's fucking ass.
Rings on top of my stairwell when I'm driving, I feel like a sparrow, yeah. Living the moment, love this scene. When she with me, she feel like her, yeah. V8 engine, he hit different. Hit the gas and it go purr,